Okay, if everybody'd like to mute their volume, we're going to go ahead and get started.
Mute the volume. So if we mute the volume, are you going to be able to hear us okay?
You're going to unmute when it's your turn to speak because we're going to introduce you.
Oh, I see.
There you go. Thank you.
Well done. All right. Well, my name is Randy Eric. I'm the Dean of the Kremen School of Education and Human Development. And this is our second virtual scholarship reception. This is something that that Laura Clark was emphatic about, us recognizing our students, their achievements, and our donors, and to figure out a way to get them together so that they can express their appreciation in a time where we can't actually get together. We used to do this face to face, but now we're doing it virtually, and I want to thank Laura for doing it. This is our second in a series of 5 that we're having this semester because we have so many scholarships that we're actually giving out to our college. Tonight, you're going to meet some of the recipients, some of their family members, and most importantly, the donors who make all of this possible, and some faculty and staff as well. Before we go any further, I want to acknowledge that our faculty members who have been either teaching most of the day or doing other kinds of Kremen work are here because they want to keep the tradition of great support that my faculty provide to their students, and they want to do it in person. So first of all, I want to welcome Becky Noel Smith. Thank you for coming. I also want to invite Carol Fry Bolin when her students come up to cheer as loud as she wants to cheer. That's awesome. And I also have Mike Mahoney. I don't see any other faculty members, but they may join us later. I just want to thank my faculty members for coming and joining us to celebrate our students. You've been a very vital, important part of their lives, and we're acknowledging them tonight. So now I want to introduce my Director of Development, Laura Clark, who's going to be our MC for tonight.
Hi, welcome everybody. We have a number of special guests with us for our virtual scholarship reception. We have donors Carol Hansen, James and Louise Dunaway, and members of the Gaston family, including Rutherford Gaston Jr., Henry Gaston, Harlan Gaston, and Eugenia Gaston Reeves. We will hear from our special guests later in the program. So briefly, here are our Zoom rules for tonight. Just remain on mute during the presentation until it's your turn to speak, and use the chat feature to express congratulations, celebrate the students, or make comments about what you're hearing. You also might want to set your screen to speaker view for the best experience so you can see a little better. Now, without further ado, I'd like to introduce our interim Associate Dean, Dr. Kathy Godfrey.
Good evening, everyone. How are y'all doing tonight?
Fine.
Good.
Yeah, we all use hand gestures on Zoom now for those of you who are our guests. So feel free to, gesture in whatever way communicates your happiness about being here. I know we had such a lovely time last week when we had this event, and I'm really looking forward to having this experience tonight with you, to celebrate our students, to celebrate our donors, and to just be really excited about learning and the services that Fresno State offers to all of us through the amazing work of our students. So thank you too for the families of our scholarship recipients for being here. And let me just kind of explain a little bit about what this is going to be like. As we've mentioned before, we've organized 5 of these virtual scholarship celebrations. For today's event, the faculty who are here were invited by a student who is receiving a scholarship to join them in this celebration. So we're really glad to have faculty here to support students that really mean a lot to them. So the first scholarship that we're going to present is the Carol Gobb Hansen Scholarship. This scholarship is for a student in a teaching credential program. And the recipient this year is Madeline Dana. But first, I'd like to welcome the donor who made this possible. Carol Hansen is an alumnus and a donor of both a scholarship and a planned gift at Kremen, as well as adjunct faculty in the School of Education at another institution. Carol, could you tell us a little bit about your scholarship and why you decided to give?
Yes, I'm happy to. And thank you for inviting me to this event this evening. And Madeline, I can see you on the screen, and it's wonderful to finally meet you. And I'm sure as you're introduced, I'll learn a little bit more about you. I am a native Fresnan, and I grew up in the late, mid 50s actually, in central Fresno. And I graduated from McLean High School in 1968. So I bet you I'm the oldest in the room almost. And those were wonderful times to go to school in this valley. I was very excited to attend Fresno State. And so I finished my bachelor's degree there. And then I got 2 different credentials while finishing my 4th year. The elementary credential, secondary credential, and then the district in Fresno Unified hired me to teach. My majors were Spanish and English. And so I've always had a love for education. I and my 4 brothers are all first generation college graduates. And again, in those times, that wasn't unusual. But my parents knew that we were going on to college. And what a better institution to attend than Fresno State right here in town. And I then finished my administrative credential. I had 2 wonderful assignments as principal. Later in my career, I was a middle school principal, and then I was a long time, 21-year high school principal. And I retired after 40 years, 8 years ago. So I've had a wonderful, wonderful time. And I still teach at National University as well, and do work with student teachers and interns. So in giving back to the community, that's another thing that our folks taught me, that you had to do your part. And because I'm and my husband were financially able, this is what I had chosen to do. And I wanted to give back to the School of Education. It was not named Kremen when I went to school there, but it's delightful to be a part of all of this activity and to see wonderful, wonderful teachers come through our system. So thank you for giving me this opportunity.
So glad that you could be with us tonight. I think it's just a treat to have donors here so that the students kind of have an actual person attached to the scholarship that they received. We also have Dr. Michael Mahoney here, who is one of Madeline's professors. And Dr. Mahoney, do you have some thoughts that you'd like to share with us about Madeline?
I do indeed. Hi, everyone. It's very nice to meet a lot of you. It's very good to see some of you that I've already had the opportunity to meet. And I get the opportunity to say a couple of things about Madeline Dana, Maddie, and I just, and Carol Ms. Hansen, it's very nice to meet you as well. But I do want to just say congratulations to Maddie. She truly has great things in her future. You're already doing great things, and you're doing them all for the right reasons. I've had the pleasure to share 2 classes with you. So a year, we've had a year together outside of advising. But I'd never told you, but whenever you were in the class, I would actually have to reread the required readings, the assigned readings before, because I always knew that you would be coming in and asking incredibly well thought out, difficult questions. And in doing so, you actually caused me to learn more and to become a better instructor. And, it's just been an absolute honor. We'd be in the middle of a lecture and you would ask questions that would make me you know, reassess the lectures and the classes and everything. We did a lot of group work, and Maddie, you are kind, you are patient, you helped everyone around you, you continue to help everyone around you. And it's just been an absolute honor to have the opportunity to work with you in our classes. So congratulations, Madeline. All the best in all that you do.
Oh, that was such a lovely tribute. Now I wish that I'd had the good fortune of teaching Madeline too. Madeline is getting her moderate to severe special education credential, originally from Ventura, California, but now has been in the Central Valley for 15 years. Congratulations, Maddie. Would you like to take a couple of minutes to tell us what this scholarship means to you?
Yes, thank you so much. Kathleen, thank you, Laura, for hosting. It's so great to see everybody here. I really, in these times right now with COVID, was not expecting to be able to see all of these faces. And I think it's great that we've all kind of come together to acknowledge our donors and faculty and everyone who's been a part of this. Carol, I hope I can call you Carol. I just want to say it's an honor to meet you.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Well, it's so great to meet you, Carol, and put a face to the name. And it's so great to hear a little bit about your background. And I'm really proud. I may not have been born here, but I truly feel like a Central Valley gal because I've been here for so long. Your scholarship has really helped me, especially with student teaching. You know, I know a lot of students have to give up work, and that was something I had to do in order to focus on student teaching and my courses. And your scholarship has really helped me in, you know, offsetting a lot of that financial need for my tuition. And so I just want to thank you again for that. Dr. Mahoney, thank you so much for all of your kind words. I just want to say, you know, your class was my very first class, fall of 2019, when we were all in person, and you were my first special education class, and you really just inspired me with everything that you taught us, and really laid the groundwork for my inspiration for wanting to pursue my special education credential. And just to see how far you've come in your education, you've inspired me to want to go a lot further. And I'll never forget like the fun that we've had. You made class fun. Like I loved coming to your class. We learned and we worked together, and it was just an awesome experience. And you pushed us to our best ability. And I just want to thank you both so much. And I'm really happy. This is my last semester of getting my credential, and I hope to get my prelim in May and to get hired in fall. I'm really excited, hopefully, to work for Fresno Unified. That's kind of where I'm placing my bets. And I hope to, I just hope to have my own classroom, and I hope to give back just how everyone has really supported me in my journey. So I just want to say thank you again.
Thank you so much, Maddie. Now Laura Clark has a couple of things to add.
I'm besides being staff, I also am working on my master's degree, and part of it is in Kremen. And so Maddie was in my class, and we had small groups, and Maddie was the unofficial leader of our group. And she took over, and she made me better at what I was doing. So Maddie, thank you. It's been a pleasure being your classmate, and I've learned just a ton in our small group. So I just wanted to thank you. And normally I don't talk to the students, but I'm fellow students. So thank you, Maddie.
Laura, it was a pleasure to work with you too. I had a great time in also our small group. It was awesome. You're great.
Nice. Our next scholarship is the J.C. and Pearl McMillan Scholarship. This scholarship is given to students enrolled in a professional teacher preparation program who are pursuing a preliminary basic credential. The recipient of this scholarship is Abby McHatton. Unfortunately, Abby was not able to join us this evening, but we give her a big congratulations. Yeah. The next scholarship is the James and Louise Dunaway Scholarship. This scholarship is for students who are working on a Kremen multiple subject teaching credential with a liberal studies concentration in math. There are actually 2 scholarships, and that's the first one. The second one is for a single subject teaching credential with a possible secondary credential in math. Before we hear from the scholarship recipients, I would like to introduce the donors for this scholarship, Mr. and Mrs. Jim and Louise Dunaway. And I think they're going to speak to us for a few minutes.
You're on mute, Louise.
There we go. Good evening. It's a delight for us to be part of this. We're sorry we can't be there in person, but congratulations to all the recipients. My husband and I, as you may guess, we're math teachers for many, many years. I taught for 30 years, sometimes adult ed, little JC, but mostly high school mathematics. And during that time, I started teaching in '65. And during my early years of teaching, it became obvious that there were many female students who were not taking the math and science classes they needed. And I joined a group of other professional women in Santa Clara County, and we had a number of workshops encouraging girls to get into science and mathematics. And one of the key things in our setting up this scholarship was our recognition that so many times there were teachers, instructors who didn't really love and enjoy mathematics. And we felt that you should have somebody instructing the students who really love the subject. And so we are delighted to help in any way other future math teachers. And we hope that you will enjoy your career as much as we enjoyed ours.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Louise didn't say anything about this, but she went to school at a small private university in Ohio, Mount Union, then Mount Union College, now Mount Union University. And when she graduated, she decided she wanted to do a little traveling if she could. And so she looked around and discovered that in order to teach in the U.S. defense schools, you had to have 3 years experience. So she looked a little farther and found a position in the U.S. Virgin Islands teaching mathematics. And she said, hey, I think
Louise, we lost you guys. We can't hear you.
Can you hear us?
I can hear fine, thank you.
James and Louise, we can't hear you. Can you guys hear us?
I don't think they can hear us either.
Let me see here.
Here. What do you think, Laura? Should we move on?
I think we're going to have to because they don't know that we can't hear them. They
Yeah,
can't hear us either.
yeah. Okay, well, we thank them. We're really glad that they were here and glad that we could hear at least part of their story. The recipients for this scholarship are Tia Mayberry and Jana Cronin. Jana got her bachelor's degree in interior design and is currently in the multiple subject credential program. She's from Clovis, California. Congratulations to you both. Tia, would you like to tell us a little bit more about yourself and how you feel about receiving this scholarship?
Hi, my first name is pronounced Taya, like tie your shoe.
Thank you so much. I was pretty sure I was not pronouncing it correctly. I apologize for that.
It's
Taya.
okay. I am so overwhelmed with emotion and gratitude right now. So my voice may be very shaky. I just wanted to say that it is an honor as well as a privilege to be in this setting with all of you here this evening. I extend my thank yous and my gratitude to Mr. and Mrs. Donaway. As a 4-year-old kindergartner, I promised my teachers that I would become a teacher just like her. My background is in teaching for math. I saw a need for the students who were not understanding the concepts. So I returned back to Fresno State to not only earn my clear education specialist credential, but I will also be earning my master's degree in special education with emphasizing in mathematics so I could return back to the classroom to help other students develop a love for math like we have. It is so important to me to have received this scholarship at the timing that I received because I did not know how I was going to finish this program. I have been unemployed for 5 years. It's been a struggle, but I have always found success and comfort through education. So this means so much to me. As I've listened to just a few of the stories here this evening, I know that once I get on my feet and I get back into the classroom, I will be a participant and do the same thing that all of you are doing here today, to extend the, for lack of better words, the baton, so that other students will have the opportunity to have the help and assistance and positive support system that we're receiving here today. So I just wanted to tell all of you, thank you so very much.
No, thank you so much, Mary.
Yes, indeed.
So anyway,
Well, I think it's okay. We're done.
oh,
Our next scholarship recipient, Jana Cronin, has a professor here who would like to join us in honoring her. So Dr. Smith, would you like to tell us a little bit about Jana?
Yeah, first off, Taya, congratulations. Your strength and your resilience. Thank you so much for being here tonight and for following along your aspirations for teaching. We need you. Jana, you're in good company, I get the feeling. So congratulations to you as well. I've known Jana. How long have I known you now? Gosh, I was thinking about this.
About 2 years.
Yeah, I think I met Jana during my second semester of teaching here at Fresno State. I had her as an undergrad in a course called Instructional Applications of Technology. And one of the things that has made Jana an interesting student to have is that I can tell she's really taking to heart the things that I say, because I can see her turning them around in her head. And then she'll come back to me with questions for how to poke and prod in her own children's K through 12 schools. So I know she's taking to heart the critiques that I'm sharing and trying to actually apply the types of things that we're talking about in class and how she might be able to enact that in her own life. There's no greater compliment to a teacher than when your students attempt to embody the types of things that you're sharing with them in your classes. The other thing that I think Jana deserves recognition for is, you know, given the events over the summer, the racial tensions and the injustice that has become so glaringly obvious over the last year, I applaud Jana because she is willing to not only be an advocate for students of color, but constantly willing to rethink how it is that she has been taught to teach and how to be more culturally sensitive and how to bring that into her classroom, which is really important, especially for our white teachers to embrace the ethnicity and the cultures of our students and find ways to help our students flourish. So I'm confident that Jana is going to be able to carry that on as she moves her way out into the classroom. So Jana, congratulations. And again, Taya, congrats to you as well. It's wonderful to have both of you here.
Thanks so much. And Jana, would you like to take a minute or two to talk about what this scholarship means to you?
Yeah, so it's a little bit hard to talk after those kind words. Thank you for your generosity, Becky, and thank you so much for the opportunity to meet these donors and get to thank them for this honor. So I am a Fresno State credential student. I am not specifically a single subject math major, so I very much appreciate the Dunaway family for allowing me to still earn this degree or earn this award towards my degree. I am in the final phase of a multiple subject credential program. I first earned my bachelor's degree in 2004, and then I kind of took a hiatus from my educational goals to be a stay-at-home mother, and did that for about 16 years. And now I'm really excited to be earning my teaching credential and finally achieving my dream of becoming a teacher. I have been inspired by so many educators who have touched my life, from my own childhood teachers who really made me feel valued and loved as I grew, to my own children's teachers who have built up my children in this, in a world that really seems to try to tear them down. I've seen some amazing educators, and these teachers have showed me really the life-changing impact that an educator can have on a child's life. And it's because of these educators that I feel just so compelled to complete my education. And I really hope that I can help other children feel as valued as these educators did, and that they, hopefully I can play a role in helping them reach their potential. So I would just like to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to Jim and Louise Dunaway and their family for honoring me with this scholarship award. It really has allowed me to focus on my studies and not have to worry as much about finances as I'm trying to further my education. So I'm truly humbled by your kindness and your generosity. So thank you.
Congratulations, Jana.
Thank you.
Taya as well. Just really glad to celebrate you fine students. The next scholarship is the Jan and Gary McKeel Scholarship. It is given to undergraduate or graduate students who are majoring in liberal studies and pursuing a teaching credential. The recipient of this scholarship was Danielle Pacheco. However, she was not able to join us this evening, so we celebrate her in her absence. Congratulations to Danielle. The next scholarship is the Patsy P. Carley Scholarship, and it is awarded to a liberal studies student majoring or a major who is obtaining a teaching credential. And Holly Watkins is the recipient for this particular scholarship. Holly was also not able to join us tonight, but we congratulate her on her achievement. The next scholarship is the Stanley and Darlene Spano Scholarship. This scholarship is for students pursuing a teaching credential. Stan and Darlene could not join us this evening, but when Laura reached out to Stan, He wanted to make sure that the recipients knew that both he and Darlene are emphatic about the importance of education and that it is something that cannot be taken away. Stan says that it is very important for those who go on to teach younger people to convey this message. The recipients of this particular scholarship are also not able to be with us this evening, but we give a hearty congratulations to both Emma Aaliyah and Hannah Rodriguez. Congratulations to both of them. The next scholarship is the Rutherford B. Gaston Scholarship. This scholarship is for a student who is accepted into the Teacher Credentialing Program or the Masters of Science in Education. We are so fortunate to have members of the Gaston family here this evening to celebrate our scholarship recipient. Welcome, and please take a minute or two to tell us a little bit about your impulse to donate and to give back to this community of scholars.
Hi, my name is Chip Gaston. I'm Rutherford Gaston Jr. And I just wanted to take a couple of minutes just to tell a little bit about my dad, who the scholarship is named after. Obviously, you may know him as an educator, but he actually started out at Fresno State planning a major in business. And this is in the early 50s. And when he had a conversation with one of his professors who talked to him about what are the odds that a Black man at that time, Negro was the term used then, would be able to get a job in business in Fresno. My dad decided to change his emphasis to education. And he decided, and even said later on, it's one of the best decisions that he ever made. He started out as a teacher at Columbia Elementary, later became the first African-American principal in Fresno, and was principal at Bethune, Emerson, Tillman. At one time, they even gave him 2 schools at the same time. And one story, he was, during the standardized testing, the students at the school, I believe it was Bethune, scored very highly. We're talking West Fresno, Black and brown students, students of color. And there was disbelief that these students could score that well. Something must be amiss. So they had the students, the school, retake the test, one of the standardized tests, and they scored higher the second time around. They even scored better. My dad also was the first African-American on the redevelopment agency in Fresno that built the Fulton Mall. And at the time, I think the Fulton Mall was the first outdoor mall in the country. If not one of the first, it was the first. So all along, education was always something that was very important. My dad eventually, later on down the line, received his master's degree at Fresno State. And, you know, one of the things that he and my mom both would always instill in all of us was the importance of education, always trying to do your best. You've all heard, I'm sure, the adage, good, better, best, never let it rest until your good is better and your better is best. Well, that's part of what we were always instilled with, always trying to do our best. And matter of fact, when our children, my dad's, Rutherford Sr.'s grandchildren would come visit, he'd always ask them, how are you doing? And if they said something like, oh, we're doing fine, Papa, we're doing good, he'd kind of look at them sideways until they answered, oh, best, Papa. So that was something that was very important. So, and there are other community activities and so on that he was involved in. I know he and Dr. Curry, for example, Dr. Curry, I think, was one of the first in Fresno to start fundraising and hosting for a United Negro College Fund. And my dad and mom were part of that. So there were a lot of things that he was involved in Fresno. And of course, the education, and then the middle school there that we're very proud that was named after him. Actually, the first middle school in West Fresno, since probably the time that my brothers and I attended Irwin Junior High, when it was a junior high located right next to Edison. So we're very appreciative of the fact that the school was named after him, and we're wishing for the scholarship recipient, not for good luck, we'll say we wish you the best in your career.
Wow, thank you so much for telling us about your family story and your very, very impressive father. Thank you.
Thank you.
So the recipient of this scholarship is here with us tonight, and I'm so glad that she could listen to that story as well. Jessica Notar Nicola is the recipient, and she is a liberal studies student who is currently enrolled in the dual mild mod credential program, and she's from Visalia, California. Congratulations, Jessica. Would you like to tell us a little bit about what this scholarship means to you?
Yes, I'm just so incredibly grateful, and I thank you, the Gaston family, for supporting me in this way and supporting my education. I was so grateful, and from the bottom of my heart, I thank you. You know, coming into this school year, I wasn't really sure about how I was going to juggle school and work and, you know, doing well in my classes. And, you know, this was just one less thing I had to worry about finances and getting my education. And now I can really just focus on doing my best, being my best, and giving my best in, you know, my education. And currently I am working on getting my multiple subject and my education specialist credential. And I really want to help my students and, you know, give my best and give back to my community and really foster that love for learning, because even in my family, education was really an important thing, and it was always instilled in me in a young age as well. So that really resonated in me too. And I just, again, really want to thank you. And I'm so incredibly grateful. Thank you.
So I think, Laura, it's your section next.
Yep, thank you. Wow, this has been quite an evening. Louise and Jim Dunaway, can you hear us?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I feel so bad that it cut out right in the middle of Jim. You were trying to just say something. Heather, can you just go back to the main screen? Jim, could you just tell us just briefly what you were trying to say so that your two scholarship recipients can hear? We heard what Louise said, but we couldn't hear what you were saying. You're muted. You have to unmute again. There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, we can hear you. Go for it.
Okay. Well, as I was saying, we got married, and this past summer we celebrated our 50th wedding anniversary. And I came into education a little bit later in life. My initial degree at Fresno State was in industrial engineering, and I worked for a couple of companies in Sacramento, and then wasn't all that happy in what I was doing, and I decided to come back to school and get a teaching credential. I'd always thought I would enjoy teaching, and in particular would enjoy teaching math. And so I did get a credential at San Jose State, arch rivals, and then was fortunate enough to meet Louise later. And we both taught for roughly, well, in her case, a little more than 30 years, in my case, just a little bit less. but we both love teaching math, and we do not have any children. And so we decided we would take some of the money that we're eventually going to spend anyway and put it to work, luring other people into teaching mathematics as well, and hope that they enjoy it as much as we did.
Thank you. Thank you, Dunaways. I appreciate you indulging us in a do-over. Thank you. Okay, well, thank you all tonight. You've had the opportunity to meet some outstanding and promising students, but they would not be here without the guidance and support of some amazing teachers. Here at the Kremen School, we have a teacher honor wall right outside the building when you're able to go see the building again, where a volunteer committee has worked for over 20 years to honor these heroes. If you would like to create a brick in honor of your student, teacher, or other educator, please go to the Kremen page on the Fresno State website for more information. I would also like to extend a sincere thank you to all of our donors, stewards, and special guests this evening who helped to make this event possible. Thank you. And Dr. Godfrey, I turn it back over to you.
I think it's Dean Yurick now.
I think
Sorry
you're
about
right.
that. Oh, yeah.
We were laughing about how I passed it off wrong in the last meeting. So what goes around, you all know. I just want to personally thank you. I've only been here for 6 months as Dean of the Kremen School, and I just can't tell you how welcomed I have been, how supported I have been, about how people have wrapped around Kremen and said, how can we help you? What can we do? And this evening, in having the Gaston family and having the Spanos family and everybody coming together and actually treating it as family is just so very typical of the legacy that Kremen has. And I just can't thank you all enough, not only for coming, but for those of you who have given freely and given towards the future to our students so that they can become amazing educators. You can hear within their voice tonight, you can hear the sincerity, you can hear the gratitude. We are so very thankful to be able to connect those who are the benefactors to the beneficiaries. We are just so proud of everybody in the room tonight. You're welcome to attend the next 3 that we do as well. It's just as wonderful the next time. But I want to thank you all for being here. I want to give my thanks to the support system and the appreciation of our generous donors, of our staff, of the faculty who showed up tonight. We often talk about a Kremen community because we rely upon each other and work together for our students' success. And this event reminds me of that phrase, not just to those who work at Fresno or who study at Fresno, but the family and friends and community members that kind of wrap around to make this a family event. And I just thank you all for it. Thanks for celebrating these students with us tonight and being a part of a continued Kremen community and legacy. Thank you all and have a great night.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations to all of the scholarship recipients.